Hello, I'm Will, this is Mike, we're the Tabletop Donkeys.
Hello.
And today we've got for you issue 43 of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Mortal Realms magazine. This issue comes with a lot of Stormcast reinforcements, a Knight-Incantor, 2 Evocators, 2 Sequitur Primes, a Castigator Prime, and a Celestar Ballista. And as always, if you would like to skip straight to the battle report, there's a timecode in the description or on the chapter bar. But having a look inside this issue. First we have the history of the Stormcast Part 6, and this one's actually a little bit different. It has a few stories about how the Stormcast Eternals are not always shining beacons of virtue. There's a story here about how the Celestial Vindicators purged the entire populace of a city for minor crimes because they considered this to be the first step on the road to Chaos Worship. And then a bit more about souls like Taurus the Redeemed, who was once a Chaos Worshipper, but then reforged, purified as Stormcast Eternal, but how some of their fellow Stormcast don't trust these new warriors. Then we have the backstory for Arkan the Black, who is the most trusted lieutenant of Nagash, who's been serving by his side since the days of the world that was, when they both came from ancient Khemri. There's a picture of his model here. He's one of the Mortarchs and shows his sword and his staff, and he's a powerful wizard of death magic. But then we're on to the build instructions for the new reinforcements. These are all easy to build models, so you don't technically need glue. They can all be pushed together and then pushed into the holes in their bases if you want. Obviously they all have a single pose, and then painting them is just the same story as for all of the Stormcast we've had so far. So gold and silver and blues and reds and the beige for their robes. Then it also talks about relayering and then highlighting on top of that, which we learned about in the previous issue. And finally we have most of the completed models here, and then the ballista on the back page. But that's it for our issue content, so we'll be straight on to our game.
So no new rules or wall scrolls to look at for this issue, so we can head straight to our battle plan. So the backstory here for the battle for the Glittermine. So the Glittermine is a large mine in the western foothills of an area called the Dented Peaks, an area of Chamon. Apparently is a extremely large source of Chamonite, the realmstone of the realm of metal, and apparently the Nighthaunt have infested the Glittermine, presumably to get hold of the Chamonite, and the Stormcast Eternals, led by our new Knight-Incantor Alanna Belenos, are heading to the Glittermine to attempt to force the Nighthaunt out. With our battle plan, the Glittering Depths, we have our battlefield here. You can see we've got 4 objectives across 2 mats, and our armies. The Nighthaunt, we have a Guardian of Souls, the Spirit Torment, a Lord Executioner, 2 Chainghasts, 10 Dreadscythe Harridans, 15 Chainrasps, and 9 Glaive Stalkers, facing off against the Knight-Incantor, 3 Castigators, 2 units of 5 Sequitors, 3 Evocators, and our new Celestar Ballista. We've already had one before, but we'll use a new one. So setup is similar to the previous games across 2 maps, where we set up the Azurite Ruins, the Dominion of Sigmar statue, and the Bell Tower, and then the Stormcast player deploys first and we alternate. The Stormcast player gets first turn in the first battle round. The game lasts for 4 battle rounds, and whoever has the most victory points at the end wins. You hold objectives by having more models within 3 inches of them than your opponent, and like the previous games, at the end of each battle round, we add up the number of wounds for each model that's been slain for that battle round, and the player who has caused the most wounds worth of models scores 2 victory points, and if it's a tie we get 1 each. And at the end of each battle round, the player who controls the most objectives scores 3 victory points, and if it's a tie we get 1 each. So we'll come back after we've deployed and can get into the game. So we have our battlefield set up. We'll do a quick overview of the terrain before going over the deployment. Over here on the left hand board we have one of the ruins and the bell tower. So we have one objective here and one over there on the Stormcast end. And over on the right hand board we have the other ruin and the statue, again with an objective down here and one over there. We'll go over the Nighthaunt deployment first. So on my left flank I have the 10 Harridans, the 2 Chainghasts with the Guardian of Souls behind them, the Chainrasps with the Spirit Torment, who is my general, and the 9 Glaive Stalkers with the Lord Executioner. And over on the Stormcast side, we have the Celestar Ballista, one of the Sequitur units, the one with the Prime with the Great Mace, the Evocators with the Knight-Incantor, who is the Stormcast General obviously, being the only hero. And over on the right we have the 3 Castigators with the other unit of Sequitors. And the Stormcast get the first turn in the first battle round, so we'll head into Stormcast turn 1.
So I gain a command point in my hero phase, and then we'll try and cast Mystic Shield on something, just in case the Night won't get the double turn, needing a 6, getting an 11.
Well, I might as well try and unbind that. I'll need a 12, but... No, I didn't get a 12, I've got a 9. So Mystic Shield goes off.
And she'll put that on herself, because I think every other viable or likely target already rerolls 1s to saves. And then we'll try and do Empower from the Evocators, again for the same reason, it's a double turn. I think
it is a 6.
It's a 6, yeah.
I will try and unbind that. Gonna need a 7. Getting a 7 with the Guardian of Souls.
And then in my movement phase, we've moved up the unit of Sectors with the Great Mace. They ran just so they get a bit more movement to spread out. This was the Prime is standing on the objective. Then the Ballista moved up slightly so that it is holding the objective as well. Behind the Bell Tower, the Evocators have moved up a little bit just to spread out, but they're out of range of the Chaingast's shooting attacks, and the Knight-Incantor is just going to stand there next to the Bell Tower for now. And over on the other side, the other unit of Secretors are spread out around there to come near that objective, and the 3 Castigators have moved into the ruin. On to the shooting phase, we'll start with the Celestial Ballista. It will shoot at the Dreadscythe Harridans. 1 shot, because we're more than 18 inches away, hitting on a 3. It hit, which it then does d6 hits, 5. Wounding on 3s, 4.
4 plus saves for Harridans. Save 2. Take away this one and this one.
And then the Castigators are actually just out of range because Michael cunningly deployed his Glaive Ray Stalkers about half an inch back from the front of their deployment.
Yes, that was 100% intentional.
But that's the end of my turn because I have nothing else to do.
So we'll go on to Nighthaunt turn 1. So my hero phase, I gain a command point, and then the Guardian of Souls will attempt to cast Spectral Lure, needing a 6, getting a 7.
I'll try and unbind that, needing an 8. Getting a 7, it's not quite enough.
So I'll cast it on the Harridans, bringing back d6 of them. We're getting about 5, but there's only 2 dead. So important to note is that according to the FAQ, units that are slain and then brought back to life technically still count as slain, so these 2 Harridans will still count for the victory conditions, even though they come back to life. So there's an opportunity to kill them again, really. So for my movement, the Harridans have moved up there 8 inches, the Chaingast have moved up 6 inches so that they can see the Secretors through that window there, so make some shooting attacks, they're definitely in range. Guardian of Souls is going to move up behind them, the Chain Rasps are going to move up, and the Spirit Torment's going to hang up behind them. And over here the Glaive Ray Stalkers are just going to move up a little bit to hold the objective, and the Lord Executioners are going to start coming across towards the Knight-Incantor. Then in the shooting phase, the Chaingasts are going to shoot at the Secretors on the objective. So we've got 2d3 shots for 5, hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s because the Spirit Torment is there. Getting 2 hits, and wounding on 2s because we get +1 from the Guardian of Souls. Getting 2 wounds at rend -2.
So I need 6s to save, rerolling 1s for shields. Got 1 6 and 1 4. Put the wound on that Secretor there.
And then in the charge phase, the Harridans will declare a charge, just to see if we can get one. Going to need a 9 to get anywhere, so 5 is not enough, and I'm not going to re-roll it. So that will be the end of my turn and the end of the battle round, and at the end of the battle round we hold 2 objectives each, so that's 1 victory point each. I didn't kill any models, while the Stormcast Eternals killed 2 Harridans, so even though they came back they still count as having been killed, so that'll be 2 victory points for the Stormcast. So that'll be 3 victory points for the Stormcast and 1 for the Nighthaunt at the end of Battle Round 1. So now we'll be rolling off Battle Round 2. I got a 1.
No more than that. So yes, we will definitely go Stormcast turn 2. So in the hero phase we will try and cast Spirit Storm. Obviously same spell as Andra Azurbolt, so needing a 7. Oh, getting a 2. Well, never mind. And we try and cast Empower from the Evocators as well. Needing a 6. Oh no, they can't cast either. Then in the movement phase, the unit of Sectors with the Great Mace Prime have moved up to go over and engage those Harridans. The Evocators and the Knight-Incantor both ran, and they came basically round the bell tower to stand here like that, and the Ballista just shifted a little bit. And on the other side, don't see any need to move the Castigators, and the Secretors have just moved just a little bit forward, and all 5 of them are in range of that objective. On to the shooting phase, and we'll start with the Ballista. It's going to shoot the Harridans. We'll do the 4-shot profile this time, so hitting 4 attacks, hitting on 5s. We've got a hit, which turns into d6. Oh, just 1. And it didn't wound. And then the Castigators will open up on the Chain Rasps. So we've got 3 shots. They'd always do power to accuracy as usual, so re-rolling 1s to hit. The Prime hits on 2 with the black dice, the others on 3s. We've got a 1 that needs to be re-rolled. Into a 6, that was also a 6.
So there's a d3 hits each.
Yep, and a miss. So 2d3 hits, 4. Winning on 3s, 4.
5 plus saves for Chain Rasps. None of them, so that's going to be 4 dead Chain Rasps. Now we'll just take a 4 off the back.
And that brings us to the charge phase. We will do the Secretors. And they roll a 5, that will be enough.
Yeah.
So they'll finish their charge like that, this one here getting within half an inch. And then I'm not going to declare any more charges, these 2 units over here ran. So at the start of the 5 phase they'll declare power to weapons. So we're able to get everybody within an inch. Then we'll start with the Great Maces. We've got 5 attacks with these because the Prime has 3 attacks with that. Here's one. So hitting on 3s, 6s do D3 hits and 1 to reroll with powered weapons. So 4 ordinary hits and a 6, which turns into 2 hits.
So 6 hits.
Wounding on 3s.
Wow.
Well, that's where Empower was needed. So we'll just have 6 attacks from regular Maces hitting on 3s. Fortunately re-rolling, getting 5 hits. And wounding on 3s, getting 3.
4+ save for Harridans. Saved 2, so only 1 dies. So I'll take away this one. That's considerably more Harridans than I thought I'd have left. Now I have to pile them all in. So after piling in, there's one compiling over the wall there because we ignore vertical movement because we fly, and this one maintains cohesion. So we're going to end up with 7 Harridans in range. I want to stay within 12 inches of the Guardian of Souls for +1 to wound, and we're within 12 inches of the Chainghast for rerolling 1s to hit. So we've got 22 attacks, hitting on 4s and rerolling 1. So we've got 10 hits so far and rerolling the 1s, getting another 4. So we've got 14 hits in total, and we wound on 2s because we're near the Guardian of Souls, and 6s do 2 damage because these are the old Harridans. So that's going to be 8 regular wounds and 4 2 damage wounds at -1.
So I'll do the regular wounds first. We're looking for 5s, rerolling 1s. A few saves and a 1 to reroll. Oh, okay, into a 5.
3 damage so far.
Then the 6s, again, 5s rerolling 1s. Oh, 4 failed, so that's 11 damage.
Yeah, and that is going to be enough to wipe them out, I think. Yeah, they've only got 9 wounds left. And then in the Battle Shock phase, actually I killed 3 more Stormcast models, so I'm going to use the Spirit Torment to bring back D3 Chain Rasps. Bring back 2. That'll be it for Stormcast turn 2 on to Nighthaunt turn 2. So the Guardian Souls can't see any of the Stormcast over there, and all the other ones are out of range, so we're going to cast Mystic Shield. Needing a 5, getting an 8.
It's a 6, actually.
Oh, is it a 6? Well, I'm getting it.
Needing a 9 to unbind. Oh, okay.
Oh, there's your 12. So in my movement phase, the Chainghast is just going to move up a little bit to consolidate on the objective. The Harridans are going to move across to prepare to charge the Evocators. In the middle of the Chain Rasps and the Spirit Torment and the Guardian of Souls are moved up so that they can get their aura range to sort of this area. The All Executioners moved up a little bit, and the Glaive Stalkers are just going to stay where they are and hold that objective. So in my shooting phase, the Chainghasts are going to shoot at the Evocators. Shooting 3 shots for 2. Hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s. Both hit. Wounding on 2s. 1. -2 rend.
6+ save, but rerolling 1s because they're in Lightning Arc. Nope, that's a fail. So just put a win on that one.
Then in the charge phase, the Harridans will charge. Going to need anything but a 3, 5. That's enough. And they're going to finish their charge like that. There's going to be a lot of piling in around the side. We should all be able to stay within 12 inches of the Guardian of Souls, though. And then the Lord Executioner is going to charge. If he gets a really high roll, he can hit the Castigators. Going to need to be something really impressive, not a 6. And I'm not going to re-roll it. It needs to be like an 11 or something like that. Yeah, that'll be it for charges. I'm not going to charge the Chain Rasps yet. So in the combat phase, the Harridans get to fight first, and I'll come back after I've piled them in. So the Harridans are finished piling in, and we can all get all of them within an inch of an Evocator. And we're going to put all our attacks on the Evocator. And they are within 12 of the Guardian of Souls, and this Chainghast, who is within 12 of the Spirit Torment, so they combo their both abilities, so in range of both heroes effectively. 28 attacks from the Harridans, so I'll do 2 batches of 14, and they're hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s. We've got 8 so far and 3 1s. We're re-roll to get another hit, so 9 hits so far. Then the second batch of 14. So we're up to 16, and then re-rolling the 2 1s, getting another hit for 17 hits in total. 17 hits, wounding on 2s, and 6s do 2 damage. 11 ordinary wounds and 2 6s.
So once again, do the ordinary wounds first. Yeah, rend -1, so 5s save. Well, I think that's enough to kill them all.
I think that's 1 save, so that's 10 damage so far. That will be enough to kill the Evocators even without the extra 2 damage. But the Knight-Incantor will get to fight back.
She will actually pile in there. 3 attacks hitting on 3s, getting 2, and wounding on 3s, getting 1.
4+ save Harridans, saved.
And the Ballista is actually within 3 inches, so it's piled in so it can get its attacks. 4 attacks hitting on 4s, getting 3, and also wounding on 4s, 1.
4+ save Harridans, failed, so take away this one because it's furthest from the objective. That'll be the end of my turn. Well, we'll do the Battle Shock phase first, no Battle Shock test for the Harridans. I killed 3 Evocators, so I can actually bring back D3 Chain Rasps again with the Spirit Torment. Bringing back 2, so they're back up to full strength. And that will be the end of battle round 2. I hold 3 objectives to the Stormcast 1, so I get 3 victory points. Yeah, there's enough Harridans there. And we did move the objective out of the way, but it's actually where this Harridan is. So, and I killed 19 wounds worth of models, while the Stormcast killed 6. So I get another 2 victory points, so there'll be 5 victory points for the Nighthaunt. So we'll be at 6 victory points to 3 as we head into battle round 3. And rolling off. And I win with a 2, and I think I will go first. So my hero phase, I gain a command point, and then I think we're just going to cast Arcane Bolt with the Guardian of Souls, because if I bring back any Harridans, I might bring back 2 of them, and then there'll be 10, and then the Knight-Incantor can just blow them all up with Spirit Blast. So Arcane Bolt needing a 5, getting a 3, doesn't even matter. So my movement phase is fairly simple. The Chain Guards are going to stay there, the Harridans are going to stay in combat. The Chain Rasps and the 3 heroes are going to move up. The Spirit Torment and the Guardian of Souls are going to stand in the middle so they can help both combats that are hopefully going to happen. And the Glaive Wraith Stalkers are going to do the vital job of standing on that objective. In the shooting phase, the Chain Guards are going to shoot at the Knight-Incantor. 2d3 shots for 4. Hitting on 4s because the Ballista only counts as 1 model, so no lookouts there. And rerolling 1s because we're still within 12 of the Spirit Torment. Getting 4 hits, blimey. Wounding on 2s because we're near the Guardian of Souls. Getting 3, -2, so 5 plus saves.
Oh, made 2 though, so down to 4 wounds.
We'll go on to the charge phase. The Lord Executioner is going to declare a charge. Still going to need a decent amount because he has to go over the ruin. An 8 is probably enough. Gets to there, which is within half an inch of the Cascator. You can just about see underneath the ruin. That will be my only charge, so we'll be on to the combat phase.
At the beginning of the combat phase, I will shatter all 3 Spirit Flasks, take out 3 Banshees, and do 3 wounds to herself and the Ballista.
Yep. I will take away these 3.
And that's just because I don't think she has a chance of surviving the combat phase.
But we will pile in, because we have to get closer to the Knight-Incantor, so only 1 can attack the Ballista, the other 4 will attack the Knight-Incantor. Do the attacks on the Knight-Incantor first. We've got 13 attacks, hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s. 5 hits, wounding on 2s, 6 is double damage. There's 4 regular wounds and 1 2 damage.
Regular saves will be 4 plus, made 2, so she's dead.
Yeah, so the Knight-Incantor goes down. And then 3 attacks on the Ballista, hitting on 4s, rerolling 1s, they all hit. Wounding on 2s, 6 is 2 damage, they all wound.
5 plus saves, takes 2 wounds.
So it's down to 2.
Well, the Castigators get to go, they'll pile into the Lord Executioner. They have 6 attacks, hitting on 4s, getting 4. And winning on 4s, getting 1.
4 plus save for the Lord Executioner, he's saved. The Lord Executioner will hit them back. He's got 3 attacks, rerolling 1s because the Spirit Torment's nearby. He has to reroll that 1. He hits. All 3 hit, wounding on 2s because the Guardian of Souls is nearby, and 6s do 3 damage. 3 wounds.
Red -2, so 6s. Yep, that's 3 damage. So I removed the one from underneath the building, and then that one will take a wound. And finally the Ballista gets to punch some Harridans. 4 attacks on 4s, 3 hits. Winning on 4s, 3 wounds.
Oh, it's mad. 4s.
Oh.
I made them all. And that's the end of the turn. I only killed 2 Stormcasts this turn, not that it would have mattered, I couldn't bring anything back. Don't think the Spirit Torment's close enough. And no Battle Shock test to make, so we'll be on to Stormcast turn 3.
My hero phase is kind of irrelevant now. The Ballista will stay in combat because I need to shoot all those Harridans off the objective. Yep. And over here the 2 Castigators have retreated, so they're on the objective now, and the Secretors have moved up. We're going to have to try and make a long charge into those Glaive Wraiths and take that objective to basically have a chance of winning the game. On to shooting, the Ballista has to shoot the Harridans in melee with it. 4 shots on 5s. Oh, they all missed. Castigators can't shoot because they've retreated, so charging, the Secretors will charge into 10 to reach the Glaive Wraiths, less to if I go after the Chain Rasps, although I don't know if there's any point doing that. So, needing 10 really, 6, I'll see if that's enough to get into the... Because that would be enough to get 1 Sequitor into the Chain Rasps, maybe 2, but I don't see the point in that because that's just going away from the objectives, which is what I desperately need. There's an outside chance I could kill a lot of Chain Rasps and win on wounds caused, but I think that's unlikely with just 2 of them. So we'll just go on to the combat phase and fight with the Ballista. 4 attacks on 4s, getting 2, and we're wounding on 4s as well. 1.
4 plus save, made it for the Harridans. So they'll pile in the 5 remaining Harridans. Not in range for the Spirit Torment reroll 1s, but we are still in range for the Guardian of Souls. 16 attacks on the Harridans, hitting on 4s. There's only 5 hits. They wound on 2s, 6s do 2 damage, and only 4 wounds.
Do you need to pass 3 5 plus saves though? No.
Ballista will be killed. And I definitely hold that objective.
Yeah, it's actually about there.
Yeah. That'll be the end of the battle round.
And at this point I'll concede the game, because although I've still got a few models left, the Nighthaunt are about to get 5 victory points, which will be 11-3, so I can't possibly win the game even with a 4th turn.
So that'll be a Nighthaunt victory, and we'll recap all that for you now. So that was the game for issue 43 of Age of Sigmar Mortal Realms magazine. How did you think that went?
That was very interesting. I'm not going to say it went badly, just that if a certain wound roll had been a bit better, it could have been a completely different game. I don't mean if I'd managed to get some wounds I would have won, but I think it would have been a lot closer. If I'd wounded with those maces, you wouldn't have had nearly so many Harridans left, so you probably wouldn't have wiped out the Secretors, which would have meant I would have at least been able to challenge for the objective down in the bottom left. And then I could probably bring the Evocators forward and basically take the battle on my terms. As it was, I charged in my turn, lost a unit, which meant that the Harridans could then advance and completely overrun my objective, and that was pretty much the point at which the game was decided. And then in the 3rd turn I basically had a chance to hopefully kill all of the Harridans and make a long charge with the Secretors, and I might have been able to win the game. As it was, none of that happened, so it's just not worth trying because you're too far ahead on victory points. I suppose the other thing was I did actually fail to cast Empower, which I would have put on the Secretors.
Yeah, I do think you had you were fairly unlucky with your spell casting. You failed to cast Spirit Storm as well.
Yeah, maybe, but that's just dice sometimes. That's sometimes how games go.
Probably got rolled fairly well for my saves as well for the Harridans towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I say the Harridans ended up doing basically all the work single-handedly. I think the Chainghast did 2 wounds, and the Lord of Executioner did 3. He killed a Castigator, but...
Yeah, because you still had 2 large infantry units that didn't do anything at all except hold an objective.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've had a game go that well in terms of casualties inflicted.
But it also goes to show actually the value of completely wiping out units, because, well, from the Nighthaunt's point of view, you can bring models back if the unit's still there, which it's not too hard for you to do that, especially if you kill a lot of Stormcast.
Yeah, and Harridans get so many attacks that killing 3 Stormcast is actually fairly easy for them.
Yeah, and if I had even 1 Sequitor left after that fight, you wouldn't have been able to charge with the Harridans again, so...
Yeah, and being able to charge the Evocators was pretty important.
Yeah, if the Evocators had charged you, then they would have done a whole lot of damage, I imagine.
And I think also some circumstances, like I brought back 2 Harridans and it wasn't... Well, you unbound Mystic Shield and then I failed to cast Arcane Bolts. You never had a good time to use your Void Storm Scroll either, so you didn't end up getting use out of that. And I only specifically didn't bring back Harridans so I wouldn't lose loads of them when you use the Spirit Flasks.
And you were also able to charge me so that I didn't want to use my Spirit Flasks and kill my own Evocator. Yeah, so again, just basically having the initiative in the attacks is what meant you were able to stay on top throughout the game, I think. If I'd been able to charge in with the Spirit Flasks and place her where I wanted and then blow up, it would have got a lot more value out of the Knight-Incantor.
And I specifically chose the Glaive Race to hold an objective on their own because they can reroll all their hits if they're charged, so they don't need the Spirit Torment to hang around to buff them up, so you can go off and help the Chainrust and the Harridans. It's the case where my larger unit size benefits me a lot, because I can basically, if I charge you and do any damage, I'm probably going to end up holding the objective at the end of the turn. So it takes you your turn to retake it, or if it's the end of the battle round, I'll end up controlling it, even if we're still fighting over it.
And as we said before, when it's not just a straight up slog, it gives the Nighthaunt a better chance again as well, because, I mean, not that their damage output was lacking in this game, but with the speed and ability to get lots of models on stuff, it's a much more interesting game as well.
Yeah, and I kind of expected it to be easier for you to maintain the advantage in wounds, because you had much more ranged firepower than I did.
Yes, I did have the choice to concentrate on defending my 2 objectives and doing more damage to you at range.
Going first, I suppose it gives you a bit of initiative to get in position, but it does mean your range shooting doesn't do anything for a turn, essentially.
Yeah, and in an objective game like this, especially where there are objectives within easy reach in the first turn as well, I would probably rather go second, because it means that you have to move up, getting yourself in range of my abilities and stuff, and not be in range with your own abilities. And then I can decide whether to advance up quickly and hope to get the double turn, or hang back and counterattack. So yeah, it was a little bit of a case of shiny new model syndrome, I think. All these new Stormcast turning up and then completely fluff their roles, but
yeah, they'll get better. Well, talking about the models, we've seen Secretors and Castigators and the Blister and Knight-Incantor. I've seen it all before, just slightly differently. All fairly nice models. I quite like the Prime with the big mace. He's probably going to see a lot of him in the future, because you can actually get 3 maces in a unit with him.
Yeah, given that the magazine never specifies which weapons I have, I probably will take him quite a lot. But the Great Maces are very good against Nighthaunt.
Yeah, and I think this might actually be the last of the stuff we get to finish off Soul Wars, actually. Possibly some of the more Chainrust to come. But I think this finishes off the Stormcast side, at least.
Yeah, because for some reason you only get 2 units of 4 Sequitors in that box game, so we now have all of them, although I did have to, because it was 2 units of 5 in this, I had to supplement them with the easy to build ones, but...
Yeah, so you end up with 3 primes and 8 regular guys. And the Castigator Prime to go with the 4, because we had 7 for a really long time, even though we only ever see 3 at once.
Well, despite the fact you get 5 in the Soul Wars box set, they still didn't give me a unit of 5 Castigators.
Yeah, it does seem bizarre.
And then we've got the 2 Evocators to finally finish off the unit and join that Prime that we got a really long time ago. And the Knight-Incantor obviously is exactly the same as Zandra, but obviously it's just a different model. And the Ballista is much the same as the easy to build one. The 2 crew members are in essentially the same pose.
Yeah, the Ballista doesn't have any nice moulding on its base, so it might look a bit bare.
Yeah, the easy to build Ballista I think is a nicer model, but crew are more interesting.
Well, I don't think there's too much more to say about this battle or this issue, so as always, if you like this content, please leave a like and subscribe, and leave any comments. How you've been getting on with the magazine? If you've played these battles, tell us how you get on. We've been the Tabletop Donkeys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye for now.